Let's talk Misfits boxing. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Misfits cards. Recently, every card that they've put on has been entertaining from top to bottom. And it's one of the reasons why I am enjoying YouTuber / crossover boxing, whatever you want to call it. It's great. So I thought, let's talk a little bit about the event. Let's talk a little bit about some of the fights that we got going on. There are some really exciting ones, and you obviously have JJ fighting Temperrr, and we'll talk about that at some point as well. The first fight that I want to talk about is actually Slim versus Tom Zanetti. Now, loads of people after the media workout were really impressed with Tom Zanetti. I guess maybe they hadn't seen some of his previous stuff and they didn't know at what level he would be coming into this fight. We've obviously seen Slim. Slim fought Temperrr, beat him. I mean, that was a great fight to watch in terms of it was just a scrap. And then I think it was an uppercut that he got him with in the end. I thought Temperrr actually held his own there, and then you could see whether he just gassed out in that fight. I'm not too sure, but Slim hit him with a really nice shot. And Slim is building this really good hype train. He's got this fantastic momentum. He's great to watch. He can hype up a fight as well. So he's really ticking all the boxes in crossover boxing. Tom Zanetti, on the other hand, I'll be honest, I've only seen a few bits of him, but I did see him on the pads, and he looked like fast. He looked relatively powerful. One of the things that I saw lots of people saying were that his hands weren't up when he was doing the pad. So, you know, and Slim, who has shown that he can knock out opponents, he might take advantage of that. And we'll have to see how this one pans out. Slim, I think, probably comes out in terms of experience, especially in this YouTuber boxing world. I have an unpopular opinion because I speak about all these chats in our group chat with the boys, and I'm actually an outlier in this. And I actually think Slim is gonna KO him in the first 2 rounds. But that definitely doesn't seem to be the general opinion. And I just think if his defense is like it was on the pads, you might see an early KO. But the boys all reckon it is going to be a gnarly, long scrap. And I'd love that. And that would be the best case scenario. So I am going to go Slim by maybe TKO or KO in the early rounds. That's what I'm going to go with. But I think if it goes any further than that and Tom Zanetti's defense is actually good, it could be really close, this one. So yeah, people are going to say I sat on the fence with that one, but not really. My prediction is an unpopular one, which is a Slim early win, an early stoppage. Let's talk about Salt Puppy and Josh Bruckner. Now, Salt Puppy, I love watching him. He has this charisma about him, but he also seems really humble. Salt Puppy, I'll be honest, he hasn't really had any difficult opponents yet, but he's looked good against absolutely everyone. And so it'd be hard not to look at this and go, Salt Puppy should win this. And the first time I saw that this matchup was happening, I thought, okay, I think Salt Puppy will do this. But then I realized he just hasn't faced a high level opponent or just opponent really of like even like a mid-level. Most of his opponents have been not that great in my opinion, right? So I am excited to see him. He has lost quite a lot of weight as well, which means he was already fast when he was a big guy, so he might just be lightning quick this time. Josh Bruckner, I remember watching one of his fights. He fought that Chase. I think he was on Too Hot to Handle, but the Chase guy just wasn't with it. Like he wasn't that great. And so I'm gonna back Salt Puppy on this one, but this is definitely his hardest fight, no doubt about it. And speaking to a few of the other boys, they actually think that Josh is gonna win this. I'm not gonna bait anyone else's opinions out here, but this one kind of split the chat 50-50. So I think Salt Puppy's gonna do it. Let's talk here, Ryan Taylor versus Swarms. Now, in the latest press conference, Ryan Taylor sort of really played down his, how can I say it, like his own ability, or maybe not his own ability, but how much time and dedication he's been putting into the fight. So part of me thinks, I just don't know if that's true. I know Ryan Taylor will really want to win this after the Slim fight. I think Ryan Taylor is actually really good, or he could be really good, sorry. For Ryan Taylor's first fight to be Slim, and he was an absolute warrior. I think that was like one of the most impressive like chins, and he just went to war in that fight. And I just think he's too much for Swarms. I know Swarms as well. He's been training a lot since the KSI fight. Look, I love the Swarms sort of storyline. He jumps in with the KSI fight. Didn't have a great show in there, but maybe he just completely transforms it and as a seriously good fight here. But I really do think that Ryan Taylor is just probably going to be a bit too good in this fight. So I do have him to win this one. If Swarms wins this, I love like the storyline of that. Does that make sense? But I think genuinely with enough training, Ryan Taylor is going to be like a really good boxer, and he'll Maybe that's the building telling me that my opinion's trash. We've got a women's fight on the card. This is between Faith Ordway and Elle Brooke. I really think Elle Brooke actually surprised me so much on the pads. When she was just doing her media workout, she looked really impressive, way better than I thought that she would come in. But that also is the same for Faith as well. I was impressed with her. Not as impressed as I was with Elle on the pads, but I never really know with the women's fight. This could go either way. I think Elle Brooke will win this, but Faith is quite a bit taller. I'm not too sure about like the weight difference here or if it means that much, but I am gonna put money on Elle Brooke to win this one, and you know she has the experience as well. So yeah, she's a bit of a beast. Next up, Anthony Taylor versus Idris Virgo. Right, let me keep it 100% with you. Virgo has a pretty impressive record. I'm pretty sure he's 12-0-1, I think. Anthony Taylor has been really trying to get this Mayweather fight as well. I heard him like call out Mayweather in the press conference and them to fight next. I don't know, that just seems really weird and just doesn't make any sense to me. But who knows, Mayweather does his own thing. Idris Virgo though, he had 3 fights in 2021 and he went 3-0. I don't know. This is probably the one fight that I just don't know either of these guys enough. I've watched Anthony Taylor fight and I feel like sometimes I'm there like, wow, this guy is just like too good to be fighting in and around this. But then there's some fights where I'm just like, I'm really just not that impressed. Like, it just seems like sometimes he's here, sometimes he's here. And I'll be honest, I just haven't watched Idris Virgo. So for this, guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to sit on the fence and say I ain't got a fucking clue. If you guys could let me know down below what you guys actually think the result of this is gonna be, I'd be really curious. I mean, Anthony Taylor, he loves the occasion, he loves the spotlight, and I think, you know, that will always play into someone's hands. Yeah, I'm excited to watch the fight because it will be good quality, but I just don't know who's gonna win that one. And so that actually leads us on to the main event for the night, which is KSI versus FaZe Temperrr. Now, KSI is overwhelmingly the favorite in this, and I do think he's gonna win, right? And I think he should win pretty comfortably, but this is like a really big moment for JJ, and by that, I mean, he needs to do it with like, I was gonna say swag, and then I was there like, in what fucking year is this, right? But he needs to do it with like just a level of like class. He needs to outclass him and show off that he really is improving as a boxer, right? The last show, it was entertaining. He fought 2 people in one night, but he never really got the opportunity to show his ability. And he talks, I mean, look, we all know JJ, he talks the talk, and he has been talking so much about improving as a fighter. So it's like, in this fight, this is where we really need to see that, but I think we will. I'm confident in him. I think it will be, I don't want to say relatively easy for him, but I do think we will see the gap between him and someone like Temperrr. Temperrr, on the other hand, seems like a lovely bloke, and that's why I sometimes feel like JJ struggles more against people that are just nice. I don't know, I just feel like half of his game is such a mental game where he can just get stuck into people's heads. He almost like builds himself up an entire story. I don't know if you guys have watched the Michael Jordan documentary. And I'm not comparing KSI to Michael Jordan before you like start going nuts, but what I mean is like create scenarios in his head to make him perform better. And so when he has someone on the other side that does a lot of trash talking, someone like Dylan Dennis, then I think that suits him way more because he gets so much more involved. There's that extra motivation. And he's not had that with FaZe Temperrr. Shout out FaZe Temperrr, by the way, for just jumping in and doing this fight. I feel bad for JJ. He keeps having people back out. It seems to be if you want free clout, you just go pretty much all the way, and then a couple weeks before fight week, just pull out for whatever reason. I do think JJ is better than FaZe Temperrr, but I also think FaZe Temperrr is better than what we've seen so far. I think he almost looks a little bit too calm in the ring when he's in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's like so laid back, and I think that is just kind of how he is as a person, but maybe we'll see a bit more aggression from him in this fight. That would be really good. I did see him training with quite a popular trainer. I forget who it was it Wilder's trainer? So FaZe Temperrr has the good guys around him. It's gonna be interesting to see on fight night, but I do have JJ winning this. But I think for his sake, JJ won't be happy with just winning this. He's gonna need to win it with style, with confidence, and with ease as well, especially if people want to take him seriously when we're talking about the Jake fight. But I think JJ knows that, and in those sort of circumstances, channel he thrives anyway. So those are my predictions for this fight, for this card, sorry. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think? Let me know down below. What ones have I got really wrong? Am I underestimating anyone? I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be watching. Credit to all fighters, because Lord knows I ain't getting in that fucking ring. So you're already a better person than me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Laters.